Welcome to the Young
Echo
Podcast.
with your hosts, PJ and PG.
All right, welcome back to Young Echo Season 2.
Episode
Glad you're
1.
here. Episode 1. Diving right
have
in.
we started?
Huh? Yeah, we're
Is this
recording.
a start?
Yeah,
All right,
we're
cool.
recording.
All right, cool. Thanks for
I
giving
didn't
me
tell them we were
thanks for
recording.
giving me a heads up. Yeah.
I just hit
we're
record and set the
obviously
phone
in
down.
practice, right?
We've
Hey,
been
so who
working.
are you, by the way? Just in case people
I'm
are
PG.
started.
Or Pastor Jeff, or Jeff, or
Pastor Jeff /
yeah,
PG.
yeah.
No one's ever called you PG. Is that
That's
a
not
podcast
true.
thing?
No,
Oh.
it's
I've never
it
heard of
started.
It started.
Yeah, I'm Pastor Jonathan, and many people have called me PJ. I
And
do go by
Montez.
PJ.
And
And Montez.
Montez,
And
yeah.
John. There's lots of things I've been called in my life, even some things we should not repeat. So, and yeah, we usually don't introduce him this early, but we already heard his voice. So
Yeah,
people are
we
going to be
did.
like, what? What's going on? So
We-
we'll introduce our guest for the week. Go ahead,
ahead.
introduce
okay.
yourself.
Yeah.
Who are you and why are you?
For the
now,
month.
you probably don't even know why you're here.
I
Who are
don't.
you?
I'm Chandler Coleman, Channy Dimes.
How about we just stop there? That was
Yeah, that's good.
Chandler was good enough.
All these nicknames.
Wow.
Yeah, and I go to Southern, and I've worked at camp,
Oh, nice.
and I've been at a church under PG over here. And
Somebody called me that. See?
Yeah.
See, just today.
And I've done a couple things in my life, but I'm currently at Southern Adventist University.
Nice. So you're a student at Southern
What
University.
year?
I am.
What year technically?
Well,
It's your third year, kind of, but
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a student missionary, so I did my freshman year. Then I was a student missionary, so a sophomore / junior age sophomore in standing.
Yes.
Gotcha.
yes,
So
okay.
you're a sophomore. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
It's okay to do that.
Hey,
In college,
he
it doesn't
fluffed
matter
me
as
up a
much.
little bit, and then he brought me down.
He,
so.
he sets you up so he
You
can
need to
tear you
relearn
down.
some things after
No, I'm
you're
sorry.
done.
I
After you work with me.
apologize for PG.
So we got some things coming up. What's
Yeah.
our
So the
next
first thing
coming
we
up?
want to do is we want to kind of say we want to promote a few of our activities, a few of our things, and it has started. So the summer is now officially over for us. But coming in September 19, we are doing a joint. We call it internally the Me Project or the Me Conference.
Me conference.
But it's Mobilize and Engage
Yes.
Conference.
It's
So
for leaders. It's for people who I want to get involved at my local church to either teach Sabbath school or have a ministry with youth or young adult. Anything.
yes,
Yeah.
anyone who works with youth or young adults who wants to work
Yes,
with
yes.
youth or young adults in their local church.
And when is that?
September 19,
19th.
Sabbath.
Sabbath.
All right, it's a one-day event at the conference office in Calhoun, Georgia. We've even lowered the cost a little bit this year. You can go on the GCC website and register there, or if you want to know a little bit more about it. And so a bunch of youth pastors get together, do some of the training. It's a good time. We have fun.
Yeah, and looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys can be out there and get some training and even just hear ideas. Hear what's works in other places. Get to meet some other people that minister to young adults and youth.
So if you work with
Yeah.
youth and young adults, go to the website, register, come, hang out.
Yes.
It's a good time. If you know someone,
Tell them
get
about
them,
it.
tell them about it.
Yes.
If you're a pastor listening to this and you know some people, tell them to come.
And
You can come too, pastor, by the way.
yeah,
if you
pastors
want.
can come. Yeah,
Anyone can
come. We have also young adult life retreat in October. So October 30 through November 1 at the camp. It's a great time. We're going to introduce the camp, Goddess Springs.
camp,
So hopefully you guys can come to that if you're a young adult, 18 plus.
Okay.
So
How do they find out more information?
on our website or newsletter. If you're not on a newsletter, you can go to Georgia Covenant Conference website, go into departments, and the young adult department. You'll find a newsletter and the registration there for under events coming right there. So
Is there a cost to that?
there is a cost to that, but it's super cheap.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have it memorized.
Wow.
The thing is, there's different things. You can stay on the camp side, or you can stay on the conference side. So
Oh.
if you choose a conference, there's different fees.
Really?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can choose.
Yeah.
You can
We
choose
have
to go
up to
high.
Wow. If young professionals. We have some people that
You don't even get to do that at summer camp. You
Yeah.
get thrown under the cap.
So we have some rooms on both places, so you can choose. So the pricing is up to you. You could come pay a little bit less. Yeah.
Pricing is up to you.
Well,
Can I name my price?
You could, and we could say no.
Do you remember when people used to do that?
like
name your
bid on price. Yeah.
Does that happen anywhere?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is back.
So
in
there
the
was a
price
time.
line.
that-
Price line.
No, not Priceline. There was people started, they started exploring the idea of name your own price. So sometimes it would happen with music, like here's this album, this digital album, pay what you want. And people would pay what they wanted. and you could pay as little as a couple cents. I remember buying an album for $0.01 to
We
see
don't
if it was
have
any
those.
good.
We don't have those prices. No, we have options for prices.
I even knew of a couple restaurants that were experimenting with that kind of model, kind of pay what you want, pay what you can, and I don't know if they ever succeeded. I need to do a little follow-up research. on
Probably
that.
not, because Chandler hasn't heard of them. But
Probably not.
Yeah,
It didn't work.
I mean, you get that one Jeff Star that'll come in and drop $2,000, but then you get all the other poor people that'll.
They've dropped 3 cents
Yeah,
now.
exactly. So.
The other thing that we're in signups for right now is the mission trip, young adult mission trip. It doesn't conflict with summer camp, so
Finally, it's
you'll
about
be-
time.
You'll be happy with this. It's in May. We're actually partnering with Southern,
Oh.
so you could come, Chandler, and go work at camp.
Oh,
I've been trying to get
man.
Chandler to put a quick side note. I've been trying to get Chandler on one of the mission trips I've led for how many years?
I don't know.
All of them.
I was
going
gonna go on a mission trip, and then I went to senior survival, and then I got convinced to go to camp. So maybe
Hey,
camp.
By the way,
amazing.
that is a mission trip.
Camp
by
is.
the way.
I agree.
Camp is a
Completely agree. That's why we're
Right,
trying to
thank
move
you.
it over to. It's in May. Partnering with
May.
Southern. Yeah, so you could
Perfect.
go. It's like May 12 to 23. Right now, signups are open till the end of October. We're going to Iceland. So if you want to sign up, I'd love to have young adults. Anybody over 18 can sign up. Doesn't mean you'll get chosen to go.
Till
So
May 23.
it's like 12 to 23. May 12 to 23. Yeah.
I
So
haven't seen if that does.
if
Okay.
yeah,
Doesn't
Instead of
conflict
doing
too
a
much.
week early, but that wouldn't.
No, it doesn't conflict at
Yeah,
all.
it doesn't conflict
We
at
start
all.
late camp later this coming
That's what I
year.
thought.
So if you want to go, this is an opportunity. You can, and register if you're a Southern student. Southern Adventist University, register through Southern, but it's the same trip. And if you're not a Southern student, you can register through the conference and also on our newsletter and things. You can find that information. So,
All right.
yeah,
So if you ever wanted to know what's happening in the conference, there it is.
a young adult newsletter.
That's the only thing that happens in the conference office.
There is an
For
actual,
now.
yeah.
For now. I mean,
Yeah,
we got
yeah,
other events coming
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about those later. We
Yep.
don't want to bombard you now. First, the Me Conference, Mobilize and Engage,
Mobilize
at the
and
conference
Engage.
office, September 19. And the,
Young Adult Life Retreat, October 30 through November 1.
I'm going to
And
make
then-
you memorize your own events.
Then the mission trip is May 12 to
That's
23.
a far one. I can't.
Yeah, but
you
we're
need to
registering.
sign
We're
up.
registering. Yeah, you got to
need
sign up. That's why I hit it now. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good
You
point.
might as well just start promoting summer camp while you're in.
Yeah. Summer camp's
Hey,
happening too.
In January, I will start hiring people for summer camp. So
Yeah.
be ready for that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, Chandler,
Hi.
welcome to the podcast.
I am so happy to be here. I really am.
Yeah, nice. Good. Wow. Let's see if
We're
we can
happy
change
to
that.
have you.
No, we're not. We're happy to have you.
See, we'll ask you at the end.
So, Chandler, you've actually known both of us for quite a while.
For quite a
We
while.
have known
yeah.
you for quite a while.
Quite a while.
And so you are a collegiate young adult / young adult that is doing things in the world and doing ministry. So we're just going to ask you some questions and
boy.
ask you a little bit about that.
All right.
And so
Sounds good.
you already mentioned some of the things you're doing, but I want to get a little bit into, first off, you do a podcast.
Yes.
What is it called?
It's called Young Adult Adventist.
Young Adult Adventist.
Young Adult
Yeah.
All right.
Adventist,
So
yeah.
tell us about it.
Where-
What's your point? What are you trying to do with that?
I guess originally the vision was just trying to create a safe, relatable place for young Adventists because there's a lot of, I feel like, podcasts that are targeted towards young adults that are led by people that are older, which is not a bad thing. Don't kick me out yet.
Yeah.
End of
Leading
episode.
podcast for
Throwing
girls.
shade right away.
End of episode. We're done. All right. We'll see you next week. But I really wanted, me and my friend that started it wanted to do a thing where it was even the people hosting the podcasts were the same age. So I feel like it could provide more relatability with the topics. And if we're vulnerable with specific stuff, one of our targets was we'd want people that were our age to be able to reach out to us directly as someone who's in their same age group, to be willing to talk about these things, to have these type of things on social media. Because on social media, there's a lot about Jesus and God, which is great, but I feel like a lot of times, a lot of that content is from people we don't know, or we're just posting Bible verses, which is also great, but to have that consistent section of just relatable content and people can suggest what topics they want, and having people their age do it can maybe inspire people. They may want to listen to that because it's relatable. So that was just kind of our vision from the get-go on what we wanted the podcast to be.
So it's called Young Adult.
Yeah. YAA is what we sometimes call it. But yeah, Young Adult Adventist. So yay, yeehaw.
Where can they find it?
Right now, since Cambodia, when I was in Cambodia, I guess we'll talk about
That's
that.
where he was a student missionary, by the way.
Yes, I just didn't just go off, hated college, But yeah, I was a student missionary in Cambodia, and I kind of obviously took a pause in the podcast during that year. And so right now, I just started up a little bit again. Right now, it's only on YouTube at Young Adult Adventist, but in the near future, we'll probably get it up on all the podcast platforms again.
It's a video podcast too. It's not just
video.
Like we do audio right now, but they do a video podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we're
See, isn't it great that the young people are doing podcasts since we have video and audio?
We can't do. You've seen our faces.
We can do video, but people don't want us to do video.
They're like, please don't. They pay us not to do video.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
We're sponsored not to do video.
Cool.
So,
Don't let us see these guys.
So, well, see, we're out of practice. I forgot to ask.
this is an
question
icebreaker
to get
question.
to know you.
This is season 2.
Icebreaker.
We're relearning stuff.
Yeah,
what's the
relearning
icebreaker
stuff.
question?
But before you get into that, tell me a little bit about like your family. Who are you?
Is Chandler?
It's a
Who
broad
is Chandler?
Why is Chandler?
I'm American. No, I like I said, I'm at Southern. I don't know. Is that my identity?
No.
I'm studying religious education, I guess, because I want to be a high school religion teacher in the future.
Okay.
I think mainly because some teachers in high school and youth pastors, I guess, it's inspired
Great. Throw
me.
in some more shade.
Yeah.
No,
There's
Inspired
sarcasm
me,
there if you didn't pick that up.
Inspired me in high school to kind of want to go that route, because when I first got into high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and so then I had youth pastors and teachers that I was like, I want to do that when I grow up, and I had youth pastors and teachers also tell me, hey, maybe you should look into teaching or being a pastor or something. I was like, that sounds great. And then ever since then, I've never really looked back, and that's something I've just always wanted to do. And all of that, because I didn't know whether I wanted to be a pastor or a teacher, but regardless, both of those things centered around what I realized I really wanted to do, which was youth ministry. And so that is like my goal no matter what I end up doing. So
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
So yeah.
All right. So here's our icebreaker question of the day.
Oh.
What was your favorite childhood toy?
Favorite childhood.
Yeah.
Not gonna go Legos.
Wow.
Okay.
Although it was. I mean, that's just obvious. Got to be a little different.
Do you
Do you have to? I have one that's mine. When you're thinking about.
No, I've got it. Don't
You
worry.
gotta go.
He's got it. Go.
I would say this. I don't know if this is, but we would have those train tables with like the magnet train tracks
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
trains that would go on them, and we'd build these huge train
Yeah.
things and go on them. We'd get very mad at each other because me and my brother and cousins would all use the same tracks, and we wanted that to be our world.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we get pretty mad at each other. So good patience, good constructive patience
That'll
activity.
preach. That'll
But,
preach.
but yeah, just trains on the old wooden tracks, I guess.
Okay.
That was some good memories with those. So.
Okay.
I never had one growing up. My son did. Yeah.
What's yours? What's your favorite childhood?
Nintendo Entertainment
Nintendo.
System. The
Oh,
NES.
so I don't
That-
go with video
that
games,
was
but
my-
the old guys.
Yeah. The old guy. Wow. Look at that. Don't say.
Yeah. I did that probably in high school. I was a little more into video games, but I remember when I was a kid, Micro Machines. You might remember them.
Oh, yeah, I remember Micro
You don't
Machines.
even know what I'm talking about. I get this look
An
like
iPod or
Yeah.
only
Little,
micro
just
machine.
little tiny. I don't know. We had like
They're
a,
What does it
miniature cars.
they're like Hot Wheels, but they're
But
like
Hot Wheels, but smaller.
a fifth the size of Hot Wheels.
Like-
And we had a battleship with Micro Machine jets and like Micro
wow.
Machine. We had the whole.
You rolled with money.
Oh,
I
man.
remember that. I wanted that, but my mom said no. We don't have money for that.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Micro Machines.
Micro Machines. Then you can't find them anywhere now. I mean, maybe online
very,
somewhere.
very rare,
eBay something. Yeah. So
Awesome. Well, yeah. All right. So let's go a little bit further now. You've done the podcast, and now you've alluded to the fact that you've been a missionary. You went to Cambodia. You did that last school year.
Correct.
All right. Tell us about that experience. Why did you do it?
yeah. And what did you do there? Yeah.
Why? Okay. Why and then what?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? I would say I think I've always wanted to be a student missionary. I think coming out of high school, it was something I was thinking about. And then I get to summer camp actually in my first year, and I meet two of my good friends, Matthew Woodcock and Jaden Cushing, and they were talking all summer about going to Bolivia to be a student missionary. And I thought, wow, I feel like this is like a really cool thing to do. So I talked with them. I got to be really good friends with them, and I got to see them as they went out, and I talked to them a lot while they were in Bolivia. And they went through a lot of hardships there, more hardships than pretty much every other student missionary. The organization at that point was kind of crumbling a little bit. And so they went through a lot and had to do a lot and had to do a lot of responsibilities that they shouldn't have had to do as student missionaries. So that was just really inspiring to see them keep their heads up in that experience. And so them just going through that while they were going through Bolivia, I was thinking, man, I want to be a student missionary. And then I remember I was actually teaching McDonald Road Youth Sabbath School one day, and one of McDonald Road Church's members that hadn't been there in a long, long time showed up by the door, and I knew him. He was my village director the year before, Tommy Crabtree. And I've never seen him in McDonald Road, but he's a member there. So I'm just throwing shade. He does go to church. He does. He just didn't go to McDonald Road Church.
Tommy, if you're listening, go to church more.
He does go to church every week, I think. So
So do you not go to church every week?
yeah, so it's the flip around. I never go to church, and I just know.
I don't think he came to youth Sabbath school class that often either. When you were teaching youth Sabbath school.
He is a little bit older.
Yeah.
So anyways, so it was funny because I think the student missions Vespers had just happened, and I had filled out the application that night. I'm like, man, I want to go. I don't know where I want to go, but I know I want to go as a student missionary. And I've never seen, when I was teaching that Sabbath school a couple weeks later, I'd never seen Tommy ever in that church, and he just walks up to youth Sabbath school, sees me in there, walks in, and we talked for a while, and I talked to him about how I wanted to be a student missionary, and he was like, yeah, I was a student missionary in Cambodia, you should go there. So I was like, okay, tell me a little bit more about it. And he kept telling me, and everything he said, I was like, well, this is really cool. I think I want to pursue this. I think I want to go there. So ever since that day, I think it was early November, I was just like, well, I'm just going to go through with this process, and if God opens other doors and shuts other doors, I just need to keep walking. Because one thing that Jaden told me, the missionary in Bolivia, he said that he wished he would have gone a year earlier, but he felt like when doors opened and closed, he didn't keep walking. And so he said, if doors open or doors close, just keep walking. God will show you the way. When it starts to get stressful, if other doors open or other doors close, don't get stressed out and just stay there. But just keep walking and see where God leads you, see what doors he leads you through. So I'm like, okay, even if Cambodia falls through, I'm still going to keep walking and pursuing this missionary thing. But it just so happened to work out that Cambodia all the way through, like November to April, May before I left, and June, July, all of it, it just was a pretty smooth process. A lot of student missionaries can't say the same thing, and the fact of they may apply places, it doesn't work out, they're thinking about going this place, doesn't seem right, and they're trying to find the right place to go until right before they leave. But for me, it was kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, where I kind of knew where I wanted to go, and I just went forth with the process, and it was kind of a smooth process all the way through.
Nice.
So.
Except for when you were about to go, a war breaks out between Thailand and Cambodia.
Right. That might be something to mention.
That wasn't so smooth.
Yeah, I remember at camp, everyone was like, Chandler, you going to make it to Cambodia? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, that was definitely a stressful thing. We can get into that a little bit more later while I was there. But what I was doing in Cambodia, I wanted to be a high school teacher, like full-time high school teacher. But I ended up before I went, I was told I was going to teach a lot of elementary classes. I was like, okay, it's the mission field. I guess I'll do whatever. Even if I have to teach elementary, I guess I'll do it. I've worked at camp, so I think I'll make it. So I ended up going, and Tim Maddox, the person who's in charge of everything, he picked me up from the airport, and he showed me the schedule, and it was all 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm like, this means high school class, right? He's like, yeah, you're teaching all high school classes. We got another volunteer. So I was like, great. So I was teaching English, high school English and Bible all year. A lot of missionaries.
What if you canceled when you found out you were teaching elementary? Like, you know what I'm saying? You were just talking about when you think a door's closed, like, continue to move forward, be willing, and God blessed you with, like, rather than, I can't do that. That's cool. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, cut you off.
Anyways, what I was saying.
But
it was, I think most student missionaries go through training or they go through an organization. I kind of just went, I hadn't taken any education classes before. I didn't go through training. I didn't go through an organization. I didn't go to ESL. But that's the student missionary experience.
You had training here at Southern to be a student.
That is true. I did, Southern. I work for their office now, and I can conclude that they did help me. So I went, but as far as teaching goes, I was like, help. So I just got there, and just a lot of trial and error, but I learned that very quickly that, okay, most kids don't understand most of what I'm saying, so this is going to be interesting. So just be very creative in learning how to teach and make engaging lessons for English and Bible when I don't know what I'm doing. I was learning as I was going, learning how to adjust to their culture, learning how to adjust to the language barrier, and just finding creative ways and engaging ways to be able to teach. So hard times, especially at the beginning, but the more I taught, it just ended up getting smoother. And before I left, I love all those students so much, and I still talk to most of them pretty much every day or every other day. And it was just made a really good connection. So it was just great to teach over there, and that was my full-time job. Pretty much was teaching. So.
Were there other Southern students or other missionaries, or just you by yourself, or how?
There was not. It was just me, and so I went by myself. There was another volunteer there from America, but he was, I think, 35 years old, so he was a little bit of an age gap.
Okay.
But he was there as an artist, actually, because they have this Butterfly Paradise thing, which is Tim Maddox built by himself. He gave $20 to it, and God provided the rest of the $400,000. And it's like the biggest butterfly enclosure in the world.
Oh, wow.
And there's just all sorts of nature there, and there's like an art section there. So that artist was volunteering there. So he was my housemate. I think we were the only 2 Americans on the whole campus. But it's gotten to be a pretty big ministry and a pretty popular ministry, like as far as people know about it. Other Adventists know about it. And so we had visitors come, other visitors, families come from America, all other countries, seeing if they wanted to be long-term volunteers there in the future. So that was pretty neat to see interest from other people that wanted to come there. So.
Cool. Nice. Now you've mentioned camp a couple times, a little bit here. So you've worked at camp.
Okay, the question you've been itching to ask.
Yeah, I've been itching to ask. Yeah. Tell us about that. How did you end up working at camp? It's kind of similar how you ended up going to Cambodia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is the same person involved?
Yeah, it
weird.
is actually. So I went to the senior survival.
I was like, was he at senior survival?
Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there. Calm down.
Let him go, bro.
Okay.
You're
Cool.
so
Go ahead.
patient.
But yeah, we were at senior survival, and it was during that specific time. I was kind of going through it a little bit, just as much as a high schooler can, and just wasn't really feeling it. I was like, okay, senior survival, maybe this will make me feel better. But I was going, and it was during this time I was deciding, okay, I'm either going to work at camp, where I'm going to go on the Fiji? Was it that year? 2024?
Probably.
The Fiji, I think it was. The Fiji mission trip. So it was like, PJ, these 2 guys just pulling on us, tugging my arms. No.
Wow.
But I wasn't sure which one to go to, because I'd missed a couple of those mission trips ever since 2021. Just hadn't worked out. And so I was like, man, I want to go this year. And so that was really a decision I wanted to make, and also summer camp was the other decision. But it just so happened that my future village director that I'd never seen yet, Tommy Crabtree, happened to be my senior survival counselor. And so I talked to him a lot, and I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about working at camp. And little did I know that he had worked there for like 5 or 6 years beforehand, so he was like really into it. And I was like, okay, this guy's worked at camp a couple of years, I guess. And so he was talking to me, and Brandon Bell was also there. And so Tommy worked it out to where they sat me down at a picnic table, and we're just like, okay, here's why you are working at camp. And no, they didn't really do it like that.
That's one way to recruit.
But they were pretty convincing, and just talked to me about, since I think I had expressed interest in wanting to be a counselor, and so they told me all about it, and I was like, okay, I think this is something I'm going to pursue. And so then I went forward with it. I interviewed with you, and I remember putting, I think, 3 options on my list: basketball instructor, lifeguard, counselor. But I just felt this calling that I feel like I wanted, and God wanted me to be a counselor. So I went in, and I think you interviewed me and said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, counselor. And he's like, okay, I see these other things on the list. Do you want to do that? I'm like, not really. I want to be a counselor. And he's like, oh, okay, this is confident of you. I was like, okay, did I do something wrong? And so I think at the end of the interview, you said, yeah, you could either be a counselor or maybe a sub-counselor, but you'll have a good chance of being in the village. So I was pretty, I liked that. I was like, yeah, good. I can be a counselor. So then I got to the summer, and even though I went to CA, I knew of a couple people, but I really didn't know anyone at camp, which was good for me. Got to meet a lot of new people, even at a camp that's 40 minutes away. And so I got to meet a lot of new people. A lot of people from CA I knew, but I wasn't really close to, so I got to branch out and meet a lot of people. And just being in the village that year and being a counselor, I didn't really had consistent time with youth or kids before that. Like I taught swimming lessons and taught Sabbath school a little bit, but that was about it. And so just that consistent time, going through all the hardships of being a counselor, but also seeing how rewarding it is, and just seeing how much those kids love you if you show love to them. And it was just an amazing experience my first year, and after my first year, I knew I wanted to go back 100%. So then I've just been going back the last couple of years as a counselor, and I've just loved every second. I love the ministry of it. I think summer camp is probably the best ministry ever invented. In the sense of this.
Boom.
In the sense of this, because you get 10 kids that God handpicks to come on a summer camp counselor specifically. Because you get 10 kids that God handpicks to be at your doorstep, and all you have to do is have fun with them, share Jesus with them, and you have 22 hours a day, 6 days a week, you yourself as a counselor to do that. So and they're coming there for fun, to have a good time, and you aren't their parent in the sense of you aren't doing everything for them, but you get to do most stuff for them. You're their counselor. You get to do worships with them. You just get to hang out with them. And so they don't just see you as this religion teacher or a parent that's making them do stuff, but it's like kind of everything combined. And I just think it's an amazing ministry for a lot of kids. And Kahada does an amazing job of getting kids that don't have the best background a lot of times to bring them in and to where they can see God and make a decision for Christ. So I've just loved being a counselor the last 3 years because I think it's just the most amazing ministry for kids and young adults to be able to see Jesus through all the staff and through the programs there.
Nice. So I've been doing it for 3 years now. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Time flies.
I'm old, I know.
Yeah, you're starting to get there.
I'm starting to get there.
You're starting to get there.
Yeah.
So what would you? So the two things, like your mission trip. I mean, you're as a missionary and summer camp. What are some of the biggest takeaways that you've gotten, and what are some things that you feel like? Why would you encourage other people to do?
Yeah, that's the two questions I had. How would you get somebody else to do it? Sit them down and tell them they have to, like you got told, or how would you encourage them? Or like you said, what's your takeaways? Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with camp. I think my takeaways from camp would just be, first of all, aside from what I just said, you have a community with the staff. Like the staff, it's super tight. And I know at Kahada, we take pride in just having our camp run as smoothly as possible. And so you have staff that are working hard together. They understand it may be a little bit harder. You may be doing a little bit more than other camps, but that's because we hold a different standard. I feel like we hold the standard that we want to make sure everything runs smoothly. And so you're working with staff that are doing all the same things as you do. We're a camp that makes sure that everyone, has probably about the same workload, so everyone's doing a good amount of stuff. And so you can relate to staff. You just build friendships. Like some of my best friends I've met at camp. Just you build those relationships with people who have the same mission. And I just think people from all over the place that come together and have the same mission, like there's just no other connections that you can build. Like even college, you go and if you're studying in the same major, it doesn't mean everyone has the same mission. And I just think that's a great thing about camp is everyone has the same mission, the same passion for youth, the wanting to serve them, and you can just make amazing connections there. But my takeaways would definitely be, especially as a counselor, just being able to see how God works when I don't expect it. Like maybe I'm influencing some kids and I'm like, God's working good here, and then other kids I feel like I'm not making that much of an impact, or they don't like me, or they're just not seeing God through me, or they're not asking questions about God in my worship or anything like that. I'm just like, well, it's okay. I influence these kids at least. But oftentimes it ends up on Friday night, like those are the kids that want to talk to me the most. And it's oftentimes the kids that were the most trouble, the kids that showed me the most disrespect. Those are the kids who keep in contact with me the most outside of camp. And so I just think that's really cool, and it shows how great of a ministry it is to be able to show a kid love, even if it's not reciprocated. It means a lot to them, and they can still keep in contact with you outside of camp. And so I just think that's the coolest thing is that, again, 10 kids that God has handpicked, and God has handpicked all the kids to come to this camp for whether it's a staff member, whether it's just a staff member that's in the kitchen smiling, or whether it's a counselor. Every staff member is there for a reason to make an impact on these kids, and they remember these things. Before camp starts, we have a meeting where we talk about why we're at camp, and a lot of the people are there because previous people at camp made an impact on them. And so I just love how it reciprocates all the way down through the years, the generations, and just the ministry that it is. You get to work with a bunch of people that have the same mission. You get to have fun, but most importantly, you're working for the Lord, and you get to see what He does each summer. So.
Nice.
Awesome.
So what about Cambodia?
Yes.
You're in Cambodia.
I had a lot of takeaways from there. Mainly realized how blessed I am here in America. Definitely, like I consider myself a good student. I study hard. I try to get good grades. But just being in Cambodia and seeing how hard these kids work for their education in high school, because it's kind of the same system. They have to study hard to take a government exam to be able to get into universities. But the government exam is really hard. The curriculum isn't very good in the schools. And so they're trying their best, but most likely they're not going to pass this exam. And even if they do, a lot of them don't have any money to pay for the college. And so just having my high school students and seeing how talented they were, the dreams that they had, the things that I knew that they could pursue, but there's just a little disappointment because they're like, teacher, I'm working so hard for this, but there's a good chance that I will never be able to do it. And I'll just have to work with my parents or work in the rice fields for the rest of my life. And that was just crushing to me because I see these kids with all this potential. I see these kids in America who kind of have a lot of things given to them. And even if they don't try, they're still going to be able to go to this university, this college to pursue their career. And I see these kids in Cambodia who are working their tails off, who don't have anything but a shirt on their back to their name. And they're working hard, they're trying their best, they're doing all they can. And for most likely it'll be for nothing.
Wow.
And to just see that, it inspired me to be like, man, I have this university education, and this is one of the only cultures where going to college is normal, where a lot of people do it. In all other cultures, it's the biggest luxury one could ever imagine. And so for me, it's just like, okay, even though I'm already trying pretty hard in school, I have to realize that this college, this whole university thing is a huge blessing, and this is very uncommon and very luxury for most of the world. And so just made me appreciate my education more definitely. And teaching specifically, I learned that not to get too high in the good times and not too low in the bad times, because there's a lot of times where initially I was just focused on getting my craft down, like figuring out what I'm doing, so I wasn't really worrying about what people thought of me. But after about a month, I would start to worry, start to think about, oh, what do these students think of me? Do they like these teachers more? And I would let myself get really stressed on that. And there would be good times, and I would get super happy, like I feel like my teaching's going great, I feel like the students are connecting with me great, and I'd be happy. And then this one thing, I'd have this bad day, like maybe a few students disrespected me or didn't treat me right, or I didn't get the same reaction or something, and man, I just felt horrible, because I went from all the way up here to just feeling horrible. But I realized, first of all, I remember in October, I let it get to me so much that I was so stressed. It was like this hurting feeling in my stomach that I was so stressed, and I knew that I couldn't continue teaching unless I gave this to God. And I remember reading a quote in this book that said, you shouldn't look for your affirmation horizontally, but you should look for it vertically. And I realized that what I was doing. With all my students, I was trying to get the affirmation from them to define me instead of getting my affirmation from God. And so when I switched that up, the stress went away, and I realized that I can't get super excited in the great moments. Like, enjoy them, but don't get super excited, because then when the bad moments come, you're gonna feel horrible. So like when the good moments came, I'd be happy, I'd rejoice, but realize, hey, tomorrow's gonna be a new day. God has a new plan for tomorrow. It may be me struggling with a lot of students, and that might be what those students need that day, is for me to get down to their level and struggle with them, cry with them, help them. And the next day, everything might go smoothly. So it's like, I realized just to stay in that middle ground, of not to get my expectations too high. That's probably a better way to say it. Not get my expectations too high or get my expectations too low, but realize that God has a specific and different plan for every day, and that's going to look different. So,
what would you say to someone who's like thinking about either SM, or student missionary, or camp, or short-term mission, anything? What would you say to them? What's it's encouraging word?
I would say camp or student missions.
Yeah.
I would say there's no one that I've talked to that, like, maybe someone goes to camp and they realize, man, it's just not quite my thing. Okay, that's fine. Or student missions, and they just didn't have an amazing experience like they thought they would. Either way, I've never heard anyone say on both realms that they regret it.
Yeah.
Even if camp isn't your thing, for most people, I think it is. They find a specific place that it is. And student missions, you can find pretty much anything through Southern that's tailored to what you want to do. But even if both of those things aren't true, I've never heard someone come back and say, I regret going and working at camp, or I regret student missions.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, because even if it's not 100% your thing, by talking to them that they still learned so much about themselves. They learned so much from it. It was valuable experience, and from both sides. And so I would just say there's no way you'll regret it. Most people come back enjoying both of the things, and they love it and want to go back and want to inspire more. So I just think there's no negative in it, because regardless, in student missions, I've seen it countless times where God reveals your purpose for your life, and God will definitely do that and just reveal to you more, I think, wholly about what life is all about. But also at camp, I think people just serving there, being able to serve these kids, it's memories, it's serving people like in a specific capacity that you won't really in the rest of your life unless you're in youth ministry. And so there's all these other majors that they get to come, and people that are planning on doing different things for their career, they get to come and work at a common ministry with other people for kids, and to bless them and to inspire kids. And I just think that's such an amazing thing, no matter what background or what you're studying or what you plan on doing. And so both things, I would say, are just extremely beneficial. I know a lot of people in college are like, man, a lot of people in my same major, student missions won't work out for them, so I can't go. I have to get all these internships, and I know you love that word, the
I
I
like
word,
that word.
the I word, internships. But it's like everyone thinks they have to follow a specific path that other people are following.
Yeah.
But it's the people that branch out and do their own thing and take a step of faith that their other friends aren't doing. I think those are the people that are more fulfilled in the end. That
Unless their friends are doing camp, then
unless-
follow that.
But it is. I
Absolutely.
like what you said about service. It's coming together,
service.
being in service. I just read a quote earlier. Like if you're unsure of the future, unsure of yourself, unsure of what your role is, go serve somebody. And I think that's so powerful. Like I remember feeling that way at church sometimes when I was younger, and then when you get involved with something. And so I love the camp aspect, I love the missions aspect. Get involved, find somewhere to serve. I love it.
I will say this, and I'll say, obviously I'm biased to summer camp ministries, but I
Well,
did I did it for 10 summers as a kid,
Yeah.
and now
He
8
did
summers
air quotes as a kid, by the way.
as a director. And what I have found is that if you let it, camp will transform you. And it's better, to me, camp is better than any internship you can take, because you actually are given responsibility.
Yep.
You are actually handed keys to kids. You're actually handed keys to running a program. You will get more, you will learn more there than I feel like in most internships you will have, because you're given keys to responsibilities. You learn soft skills. You learn how to work with a team. You learn how to think on your feet. You learn how to deal with adversity.
And
you learn how to
all that's true, and you also learn things for eternity. And I think so many internships are just focused on those things, and I'm like, my whole attitude is we're not here for right now. We do need to reach people. We need to have a successful life. I get all that stuff, but you can learn those successful traits at camp or at student missions and learn things for eternity, where I think maybe not, a lot of our internships are just focused on the next 40 years. Like, what are you going to do?
Well, that was going to take me to my next part, but thanks for jumping. I love it. Those are perfect words. The other thing about it is I personally believe that camp is one of the closest ministries that will show you what the early church looked like. Because everyone is working for one purpose. For the same purpose, and everyone's working. No one's, obviously the campers are, but none of the people who work there are sideline people. They're all working. It's hard work.
How many staff do we have? 110?
But
when
110.
2 people go down or get sick or whatever, you can tell a difference.
Yeah, you feel it.
No one's there for a different motive. Like, I mean, okay, yes, somebody could have an ulterior, but like, because you're not like paid immense money, you're not like you're not given a college. What? We're not, no. But like, I think the same thing. You're talking about summer camp, and I feel like the same thing. And I'm on both sides, by the way. Like when we talk about service, I do a lot of student missions. I like to work with young people that go on mission trips. I was changed. I think I've maybe said this on the podcast. I was changed when I did SM. I was failing out of Southern. I was failing out of Southern, and I did SM, and I came back completely changed. And so I think the same, and I was with a little bit different experience than you in Cambodia. I felt like a little bit more summer camp. We had 20 SMs at one school. So it's like the whole school was taught by SMs. That was a maintenance work. So we were all there at one mission, one service, and I got to know them as well as the kids that were there. So that transformed me, and I do see that with young people that can do both, either SM or.
Well, you should do both.
You should
one
do
you
both.
can do one during the school year, and one during the summer.
Exactly.
You can totally do them both.
Chandler
did it.
Summer
Absolutely.
camp, mission, SM, and then summer camp again. You book into it with
A lot of our summer camp
I
guys
call
have
it the
done
best
both.
lineup ever. Summer camp, student missions
Well,
camp.
and now
that's
you
what I
can
call
throw in another short-term mission
Oh,
trip. Right? You can throw
there
that
you
in right
go.
between.
Before
There
summer
you go.
camp.
Yeah, before summer
There you
camp.
Summer
go.
camp.
Before.
So no, I feel like the whole reason I love short-term missions is because it prepares you for a longer term. Like this is not where it's supposed to end.
Just
like
gives you a taste.
just
Absolutely.
give you a taste for summer camp or long-term mission. But it's so true.
It's like the Costco sample, right?
Yeah. It's
A
like try
short-term
this.
mission is a Costco sample to
I like this.
to summer camp, which
Yes.
is a meteor thing.
And then you do a 10-month
Then
thing.
you can do a 10-month,
Yeah.
and then you
Back to-
realize, wait a second, this is what life should be.
Yes.
It reminds me, when you mentioned earlier about a quote, it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes over the last couple of years, and it's the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I just think that's beautiful and so true, because no matter what you're doing, you could be in a specific job, so high up, making all these big bucks, and you could spend 1 year doing something completely opposite and different. But if you're serving others, you're going to find more purpose in that than even where you think your talents are, and just by serving other people.
Yep. I just heard a presenter. He's like he goes around, a public speaker, but he speaks about public speaking, like how to give public talks. And he's like, when you get nervous, most likely you're thinking of yourself. And he's like, when you stop getting nervous,
Wow.
you're thinking about others and like what the impact they can have
Wow.
if they listen to the words of God, whatever you're going to
Tell that
good.
to an introvert. And
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you know.
But he was like, that's why he said
Yeah.
most likely. He's
Most
like, this is true. The more you think about yourself,
The more you care about what other people are thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
you,
yeah.
and that's still yourself.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
That's good.
yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, Chandler, thanks so much
Of course.
for joining us in this conversation. I want to thank you for
Absolutely.
being open to God's calling in your life, and I see great things that God will do through you because
Amen.
you are willing to serve, and you know it's good to see young people who realize what
Services.
what true calling means,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What true calling
Yep.
means. So thanks for being a part of that and being a part of this, and we will continue to lift you up in prayer, and I know you got a few more years of summer camp left in you, so I'm excited about that.
A few more,
Excited
8
about
to
that.
10 more years. You know, if you do go be a Bible
I
teacher.
never put a number on
No,
it. You know?
I-
Once you start putting a number on it, you know, we'll just talk about that later.
But
There you
if
go.
you go be a teacher at a school,
There
they
you
have
go.
summers that you can go.
There you go.
We've had a few teachers who
Yeah.
are starting to do that.
Yeah. But thank you guys for
Yeah.
having me on. It was amazing, and thank you guys for being an influence in my life among many others. So I was glad to be here and to
Yeah,
chat. a
glad
little
you
bit.
could be
So,
here. And this is
absolutely.
our episode for August. So we will see you. You'll hear from us. We won't see
We'll
you.
see you.
But
You won't see
You'll
us.
hear from us.
Be
in
thankful
a
you
month.
won't see us.
And, yeah.
But yeah, in about a month, and you will hear from us again about what's happening, and we'll highlight another youth or young adult worker or youth and young adult.
And between now and then, find someone you can serve.
Yeah.
Amen.
Should we end with prayer?
Well, that's a good idea.
How about we do that? Yeah, you can tell we're out of
Pastor
practice.
Jeff's trying to get out of
yeah,
here.
yeah, no, no.
Yeah, Jeff was like, "Let's
I was
stop."
like, press the stop button.
Hey, let's pray real quick.
Go ahead.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the ability to serve you. What an honor and humbling thing it is, Lord, to know that you want us to be a part of this service. You could do it all on your own, but you ask us to be a part of it, and what an honor that is. And Lord, we pray that we will continue to be diligent in that. Lord, I thank you for Chandler and the talents you have given him, Lord, the desires you've given him to serve you. I pray a blessing upon him, especially as he's about to start school here, his sophomore/junior year, whatever. Lord, I just pray that you will bless him in his studies, bless him in all of his endeavors, and that he will continue to be the blessing at school, that he is at camp, and that he is to those around him. Thank you for your love and grace, Lord, and we pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, thanks for listening
Thank
to
you.
the Young Echo Podcast.
Yes. Until next time.
Until next time, I'm PJ and I'm out.
I'm PG and I'm out.
And I'm Chandler, and I'm probably out for a while, forever.
Not forever.